So hello, welcome to my virtual stall. This is a bit new, a bit scary, but we're all trying to do things just slightly differently to see how things work. I know a lot of people use the going live on Facebook. I don't think I'm confident enough to do that just yet, so I thought I'd do it this way. It gives me a chance to show you different things, edit it so that I can check that you can see things properly, and it means that you can watch it at your leisure rather than be somewhere at a certain time. So what I wanted to do is do this in small sections. So this one, the first one, is all about bangles and bracelets. The reason I did it like that is because if you want to look at something in 2 months and you remember, oh, it was something I saw on the stall, you can find it quite quickly. So the next one, if there is a next one, it might be necklaces and then rings and so on. So each time I show you something, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it's made, because I do make everything myself. If I don't make it, the element, I would tell you, but I do like to try and make everything myself. This one, the first one, is a particular little bangle that I wear all the time, because you can change it up to fit in with whatever you're wearing. So they call this one Into the Groove. What you'll find is that the things that I make, I give them all a song title, just to be a bit different and just so that I can perhaps remember which thing's which. So this one, like I said, called Into the Groove. It's a little anti-clastic bangle. Now anti-clastic means that it's sort of inside out. I've got a little thing here so that I can try and show you some things. So basically it's a bangle on that side and then it's a groove on that side. This has been created from a piece of sheet using a thing called sinusoidal stake. And that a sinusoidal stake is in the shape of a sound wave. So you put the piece of sheet on there and you hammer it until it starts turning itself inside out. So there's a little bit of work involved in that. But then what you've got is something that will accept another little bangle. So I sell them separately. There's 2 sizes, and again, if you bought anything from me, I tried to make something for different price. You know, if somebody's got a set budget, I'll try and make something a bit cheaper if your budget's a bit less. So I've got a thin one and I've got a thick one. So the thick one, I'll show you this one. So you've got your bangle, and then you've got the thick one will fit either the thin or the thick inserts. Now the thick ones, I love these because there's so many different sorts of stones you can get. So we've got everything from little rondelle type glass beads. These are Czechoslovakian glass, I think, and these have got like iridescent bits in between. These are Swarovski pearls, so you can see how beautiful they are. You might not be able to see. Let me try and make sure I get in the camera. So I've got an iridescent green, a nice one that I do lovely for a wedding, cracked agate, all sorts of things, and then lots of little rondelle beads on the thin side. So you take your bangle, you decide what you're wearing today. So let's say we're going to a wedding. And then you simply slot your insert into the bangle. So you've got something either that matches the clothing that you're wearing, or how are you feeling that day, or to match another item of jewellery. Obviously you can stack those up. I'll just show you the thin beads within that as well. So let's say it's just something a bit more sedate. You wanted some black that day. Now the thin ones show a little bit more of the silver off, but again they still fit in. So you've got a totally different look by putting the different beads in. So I tend to like a nice denim, because you can wear that with anything that's denim. I've got a red, I've got a turquoise that I wear for concerts in the choir that I'm in. I've got, what else have I got? I like bright colours, so oranges and pinks and things like that. But you can you can basically wear what you want. So the bangle is priced with the insert, and then if you want any extra inserts you can buy those. So those are on the website. Okay. Also, another one that I make all the time. These are called that don't impress me much, because they've all got little attachments that's got impressions on. So you could have anything from a plain to a wavy, hammered, not hammered, oxidised, not oxidised. You'll choose what you want. So if I'm speaking to you about what you want, it's not, and I haven't got it, you tell me what you want, I'll make it. Okay. So I'll just show you a few of these just to give you a bit of an idea of what's there. If I can just line that up. So here you see we've got two of the same impression, but on a one's on a wavy bangle and one's on a plain bangle. So you can more or less choose what you want. If I've got a stamp, so let's say somebody's into music and you want a musical note on, I'll do that for you. If you've got a particular shape you want cutting out, I can probably cut that out for you. So whatever you want, basically I can hopefully create that for you. Little butterflies, things like that. I've got all sorts of different little punches, and then basically I just put little patterns on it and oxidise it. But again, if you want shiny, let me know, because I can do it. It's always shiny first, and then I oxidise it and then buff off all the outside, leaving all the details. So anything that's got an impression, basically I think it lends itself to oxidising. So I've got all sorts of different ones of those. They're on the website. Okay, lots of things aren't on the website, but quite a few things are. Okay, so this is a new range I've been doing. This is called Permanent Wave. So you've got your wavy bangles, but you've also got a wavy, I'm going to take my bracelet off so I can show you. You've got a wavy bracelet. So that one isn't oxidised, as you can see. But again, I make all the rings and pattern them and what have you. Make the clasps. So the clasps are handmade. I'll just try and show you against me. So if I can make it, I'll make it. If it needs hallmarking, it gets hallmarked. So these are heavy enough to be hallmarked. And what I've done, I've made it so that it is a bit changeable in size. So this could be hooked into that one if you've got a really tiny wrist, right down to that one if you've got a larger wrist. And then at least you know if you're buying it, it should fit most people. I do things in different sizes. So you can have a small, because people, it's amazing how wrist sizes differ. Never knew that before. And I think, and it's more to do with the size of your hand, not the size of your wrist. So I'm a small. I always have a small. Let's see if I've got one that's small here. Yeah, so that's that's more than big enough for me, because otherwise it would fall off my hand. But yeah, I can just make anything whatever size you need. So on the website I do everything down as small, medium and large, but the large could be anything. You tell me what size large is, because the standard, if you're not standard, you've customised. So I can do that for you, that's no problem. So they're under Permanent Wave. There's some more things under Permanent Wave, which are these bangles here. These have come straight off this stall. So I'll get a couple of different ones here. So it's anything from a small wave to a big wave to a scalloped to a fancy scalloped. So these are some new ones I made. I started making at Christmas. So that's a small wavy. Let's see what else we've got. That's a scallop, plain scallop. So that's a really pretty one. And we've got a large wavy. Hopefully you'll be able to see these when I look back. A large wave. Let's shimmy those up. And then we've got a fancy scallop. But anything you want making, if I can make it in that design, I will make it for you. I do earrings in these designs, lots of matching items. If there's ever anything you see that you go, well, I like that, but I don't like that on it, then I'll take it off. we'll make it so that it's something that you like. Again, they can be super shiny. So these I've just made shiny. You can have them oxidised. When you oxidise, obviously, it drops a little bit of dark in the recesses. But basically, you can have whatever you like. These are under permanent wave. And there's some more little sets I made at Christmas. These are some little matching sets. So this particular bangle has got a little heart on it, and then I made some little earrings to match, but you could have a ring to match. Wherever I can make the element, I can put it on either a ring, a necklace. There is some necklaces with these on already, but you'll just tell me what you want, and if I've got the equipment to make it, then I will make it for you. So they were actually under the website. I put them under Valentine's gift. It's under My Funny Valentine on the website. What shall we look at next? Let's have a look at some bigger bangles. So these are some I started making a couple of months ago. They are quite difficult to make because they're just a bit heavy, but as they go a bit smaller, they're a little bit easier to manhandle. So I've got 3 different types of twisty ribbon type rings. So if you can see there, so that's a really chunky one. Depends what you like. And then that's a medium sized one, and that's a fine one. Now these are made from a D-shaped wire, bent inside out. So the way that I make these is I clamp one side of the wire in the rolling mill, then the other side of the wire in an old-fashioned wind-up drill. You know, you might have seen something in the past, your dad using something like that. And then just keep twisting it. You do have to keep warming it up to make sure that it will keep twisting. But then once you've twisted it, the art then is getting it to join up without seeing the join. So that's where my tedium comes in, because I like a bit of I like not to see the join if I can. So I do my best to make it so that you can't see the joins on there. They do lend themselves to oxidising. You could have it shiny, but the oxidising then sits on the inside of the ribbons and makes it so that you can see the detail just that little bit better. I can't remember what I put them under the website, but if you've looked under bangles, you'd find those. So these are under a range called You Spin Me Right Round. And again, an anti-clastic type bangle, patterned on the inside with a hammer, a fancy hammer. I quite like this one. I use it a lot, and it reminds me of bamboo for some reason. I don't know, bamboo leaves. And then it's got a little balled bracelet inside that spins round. So it's kind of like a fidget spinner for adults, I suppose. And they all spin round. Again, made in the anti-clastic way on the sinusoidal stake, and then bent round until it captures your little bangle inside. I do the rings like that as well, that spin round. I'll just show you on the black just so you get a bit more of an idea. Perhaps you'll be able to see it a little bit better there as it spins round. So that's that. A couple of one-offs. This is a big chunky bangle, again made in an anti-clastic way, but not joined up. I've just left it a little bit wavy. It just reminds me of something from the sea. I quite liked it. It's very, very heavy, but it's a nice statement, I suppose. So it's small, by the way. So that's a nice chunky something if you like that kind of thing. That's not on the website, so you'd have to ask me about that. That's that one. I like to make things out of square wire. So this is made out of square wire made into circles and then all soldered together. And it's a bit of a bubbly bracelet, but you can have them square. You could have, if I can make the shape, you can have whatever shape you want. Or design your own. I like it when you design your own things, because that means that it's something a bit unique to you. So I can make things like that. It's just a case of Prizing that on and off. Let's just show you there against the black, just so you can get a bit of a feel for the shape of it. It's made with an open end, so you can get that actually on and off your wrist. You can close it up a bit, it's a bit adjustable. So that's that one. This is a little ball bracelet that I made. I do a lot of things with balls. As you can see, I've got something on today. I've got my necklace on today with balls. So if it's something that you want that's not as unusual, I made this one just so that it's a simple ball type bracelet to go with anything else that's got balls on it. So that's quite a nice little simple bracelet. I do some rings like this as well, which obviously I'll show you in some future stall. So that's a nice little simple. See, that would go nicely with that, and it's not fighting too much. If you made something exactly the same, sometimes it just fights a bit too much with it. So I quite like to sort of mix and match with different designs so that you get a choice then, don't you? Not everybody's the same. I am finding that quite a lot. I'll just quickly show you like that so you can get a bit of an idea. This was a one-off. So I've joined lots of bracelets together. So you could wear this either that way around or that way around, however you feel. Probably this is a standard, I would say, standard width. So, and the wires have all been patterned in different ways. So I just take some wire, I've rolled it through the rolling mill, I've put a different design on each set of wire, just so that it catches the light differently. Some's hammered, some's done with a like a little, they call it a bud burr, and I've done one with, I'm just trying to look here, just a hammer, a sideways hammer, to make some little slashy marks in it, little ridges in it. So all very different, not for everybody, but it might be somebody out there that likes that, all these joined together. So the next one, this one is from a range called From Russia With Love, and it's a Russian wedding ring style, shall we say. So they're all joined together. You have to excuse my coughing. My coughing. I have had a sore throat since about October last year, so I'm doing well to keep talking. So this comes in, I do a pendant, I do a Russian wedding ring. The Russian wedding ring's got 3 hoops on it. The pendant I've generally made for special birthdays, like 70th, so that would have 7 rings on it, an 80th 8, and so on and so forth. I do a small version, I do a large version, and they are all on the website. Put them on a really nice snake chain, and obviously if you want less, I usually start with 8 circles. If you want less, then obviously it would be cheaper because I'm making it with less silver. So yeah, again, you'll hear me say this so many times, you can basically have what you want. So if it's something I make and you don't like how I've made it, you want something else on it or whatever, you just let me know and I would then change that for you. So this one is made with some handmade wires. I've had to buy some of this wire because I can't make the balled wire like this. So hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better if I do that. So again, some twisty wire. I've made that in the, trapped it in the rolling mill and twisted it with the drill again. Some beaded wire, so this is the what I can't buy, I can't make, so I have to buy that, and that is quite costly, which is why sometimes the prices are a little bit higher. As soon as I start using beaded wire, it puts the cost up a little bit. And then I've got some that I've just made like bark effect on, some I've hammered on the edge, some I've hammered on the side, just so that it will catch the light in different ways as you're wearing it. This is a small, but again I can make whatever size that you require. I think I had to actually price those slightly differently on the website because of the beaded wire. So as you get a larger size, it is a little bit more expensive. So that's that one. So some people like more simple things. So these are just some plain and simple bangles. So again, these are made on a stake. This one obviously curved outside in, and this one curved inside out. Again, depends what you like. These are hole marked because they're heavy enough to be hole marked. That'll be a standard fit, that one. It's a bit big for me, that. But you can certainly wear those with other things, no problem. Quite comfortable. Not it's fairly thick, but it's not so thick and sharp that it's going to dig into your arm or anything like that. So quite like those. Now they're not on the website. Don't know why they're not on the website. But if you want one of those, just let me know. So that's that. Again, now I've hammered those, but you can have whatever design you want. So I've got all sorts of different hammers that's got different patterns on. So if you'll see something that I've done in a different pattern, that you would prefer that pattern on there, then just let me know, and that's the pattern that'll go on it. As like I say, you can have what you want. This one's just a forged bangle. So this is quite heavy, this one. It's made out of really thick wire, and I've done that one in a triangular shape, but you can have whatever shape you want, as long as I can get it to whatever shape you want, that's fine. Hammered, oxidized, quite a simple bangle if you just want something quite plain and simple. So these are the more simple things that people sometimes like. And then I do a nice cuff. So this one, I etch it myself, so I make my own etched silver, and so long as I can draw the design on that you like, you can have whatever design you want. I can print it on, or I can draw it on. This one has been done through what do you call that thing, stencil. So this is a stencil of some lace that I've drawn on, and then I've etched it, and what it does, everything that I've drawn on stays there, and everything that I haven't drawn on erodes away. And then I made it into a nice sort of anti-clastic cuff. So again, that might be a bit of a, it's not for everybody, but I do like these sorts of things because they're a bit more of a statement. Just trying to get it on the wrist. Once you've got it on, you're all right. I've made this one as a fairly small one. So if you want to make a statement, that's something like that. Again, it does bend, so you can have it on a bigger wrist if you want. You can use it to get your wrist in and out. So that's that one. And then we've got some just little shapes on bangles on these ones. Again, if I've got the shape, if it's a shape you want and I've got the shape, I will put it on that, put it on for you. But what I've done is I've actually cut these ones out so that the bangle goes through the middle, so there's no little hanging jump ring on it, which is just something a bit different. Because I've done that as a flower, I've done it on a wavy bangle. And I've done that on a wavy bangle as well. Are the different wavies? No. So you can see the difference there actually between the hammered and not hammered. And not oxidized and oxidized. That's a good example actually. So you can see the difference there. So not everybody likes the brashness of the shininess of the silver, so we can always hammer it and oxidize it to suit. So there's a couple of those. And then I do some hollow forming. Now you can have these as plain. This one has actually been etched again. This one's been printed on before I've etched it. So basically what you do with these is you take a piece of silver, a sheet, and press it into a heart shape, which gives you the top of a hollow heart, and then you solder it onto a piece of flat sheet. But again, you could have this with the shiny side, just plain shiny. It doesn't have to be patterned. And I've done some nice necklaces. Well, in fact, it is a different version. So you can see there, that's actually two-sided. So I pressed that twice, two pieces, and solder them together. So if I've got the shape, so we could probably do a flower shape or something like that. If I've got the shape and I can press it in, because I use a big, massive press, then I can make whatever you like, basically. That's heavy enough to be hallmarked, that one. So, a couple more unusual things next. This one's called Total Eclipse, or Total Ellipse. I can't remember how I pronounced it on there. And it's a right weird shape, and you think to yourself, that is going to get on my nerves. And you know what? You never knock it. I don't know how you don't knock it. But if you want something that's just a little bit different, that nobody else might have, and you can have whatever stone I've got available. They are priced based on the stone, because some stones, these donuts are quite substantially different in price depending on the preciousness of it. So your turquoise there, that's quite fresh looking. My friend made one. I do this in 2 sizes as well, so you can have a larger size. My friend made one and put rose quartz on hers, and that looked really, really smart. I've got one of these, and I've got some kind of jasper on it in sort of mottled pebbly colours, which, you know, a bit more dull, but I do like those. They're just a little bit different. I do a charm bracelet. So these are made to order because it depends what charms you want on it. I make all the charms myself. So if there's something you particularly want on, you want a disc with a particular shape on, you want a disc with an initial on, you want a particular shape, or you want me to try and make something that's a 3D shape, just like this little bauble here. I have made little cupcakes before. If you can tell me what you want, if I think I can do it, I'll have a go. I've made 1 or 2 charms and things for people before, like I've done a tomato. I'm doing some things at the moment which haven't, one's gone on the website, the other one's not gone on yet, and they're like little crochet balls of wool and things like that. So if I think I can make it, I'll have a go at making it. I'll show it you, see what you think, and you know, you decide from there. But again, these are hammered out afterwards and then oxidized. I think these are on the website called Prince Charming, because they've got little charms on them, and again, it's quite a plain bangle. But again, if you say would want a little stone on there, say, oh, can you set me a little stone on there? You know, obviously we'll come to an arrangement on the price, but if it's doable, I'll try and do it for you. So this is something that's a bit more unusual. Half a chain and half a bangle, so I'm calling it a Changle. I can't remember what I've called it on the website, but it'll be under bracelets anyway. So this is using a stone. I do like this stone. They call it Fordite. I've done a lot of reading up on it actually, and the stone itself is made from residue of spray paint from Ford, and they fashion it into a stone and then polish it up. So there's different kinds of this one called boat ride or something, that's all like boat coloured varnishes and things like that, but this one, obviously, that'll be the colour they were spraying one day, and then the next colour. I use this quite a bit with 1 or 2. I've got another one there. That's another piece. So again, depends what colour they were spraying on that day. I'll come to that in a minute. So half chain, half a bangle. I do a couple of sizes of these. Now the bangle is made in the anti-clastic way again. So you can see there it's been bent inside out double, and then stopped when it's joined. So it's not too against the chain. If you use something solid, it would probably always slip to one side, but it sort of weighs itself up quite nicely because it's hollow on that side. Everything's handmade, stone set, even a nice little back to where the stone's set, just something a bit different, and it does sit quite nicely. I do try and make things so that you can put them on yourself and it's not too hard to get them on and off. So I don't know, 1 or 2 people might like that. So that's that one. I've got a couple of little shaped bangles to show you. If I've got the shape available, I will make it in that shape. So I've done 1 or 2 little hexagon. I've made these tiny ones for girls, but I could make bigger ones for ladies. It won't be too hard to do that. I do a little bee. So that's under, what do I call that one? Taste of Honey. That's a little selection of earrings, necklace and a bracelet. And these aren't on the website. These were just made for the stall. And just little butterflies hammered in little hexagon shapes. So got a few of these. Some's just still waiting to be completed. Anybody that don't like anything that's just a bit of a normal link, I made this in sort of a rectangular link and then twisted it slightly. Everything's sort of square on it. It's got a square T-bar holder, so it goes through that. In fact, I'll put it on. I'll just make it so I'll put it on for you. So that sits quite nicely, don't go anywhere. Just a bit different if you want something a bit different. You might have noticed I don't like making anything that's quite ordinary. I don't know why that is, but anyway, there you go. So that's oxidised. You can have it not oxidised if you want. I do a necklace that goes with that, which I'll show you in another at another time. Right then, so on to some more unusual things. This one, I've only got one of these, but if you want another one in a different size, I can always make one. And this is made out of wire that's flattened, hammered. It is oxidised, but I've not oxidised it a lot, just to show the little divots in the pattern on the chain there. So that's a nice loopy type of a bracelet, and again it's a handmade fastener, bit of a fancy fastener there. So I've just got one of those, so that's not on the website. I've got a couple of these. I think these might have been on with the Valentine's Day items, can't remember now. So this is a changeable bracelet, so it's got a nice hammered heart, handmade links all made out of thick wire, thin wire, and you can wear it if you've got a big wrist. You could wear it like that. If you've got a smaller wrist, you could wear it like that, but I think you'd get that caught. If you've got a standard wrist, shall we say, then you'd wear it like that. So I'm just going to put that on for you just to show you. So even for me, standard's kind of okay in a bracelet if I'm happy to have it dangling down my hand. So let me just, I said I'd made it easy for you to put on and off. Testing me. Right. So for me, I'm happy with that. It dangles down my hand. Yeah, I would say that's standard size on the measurements on my website. But quite a nice little, simple, a bit different because of the links and what have you. But again, if you saw this and thought, well, I'd like that, but I'd like it in a necklace, you can do that. I can change things about to make them so that they're what you want. This one is made from lots and lots of tiny balled up pieces of wire, and then all wrapped around a chain that I've made. So everything's handmade. The only thing that's not handmade on here is the albert, and the reason I put it on an albert is I didn't want the clasp to take away from, I didn't want it to be a thing on its own, and I sometimes think an albert you can't notice it as much, so I put it on an albert just so that it sort of blends in a bit better. But that's I'm calling this one, it's not on the website yet, but I'm calling it Hey Micky, because when I do try things out, because what I like to do is, if it's something that's going to snag, I tell you, I wouldn't wear this with a jumper that's got any holes in it, because you will spend time with your arm attached to your jumper. It will pick up every little, you'll end up just with your arm in your jumper all the time. So yeah, wear it with something that's got no holes in it. But it made me feel like I was wearing a cheerleader's pom-pom when I wore it, so that's what made me come up with the name for that one. So that's a nice little, and it makes a nice sound as well. These are a couple of ones that I've made when I came. We went on our honeymoon to Bali, and I went to learn about granulation. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? You go on your honeymoon to learn about granulation, but I did spend a day with a Balinese jeweller who taught me everything he could teach me in a day about granulation. It's an art in itself. I've tried many times and failed, and now he's taught me well, and I can actually get things to stay adhered to the silver. So I've made a couple of those, hand woven. Like I say, I make everything myself. Everything's made. There isn't anything that's bought on there. So I've made all the little, they call these what's the word, terminations. So I made the terminations myself. So obviously on that one I've made them slightly bigger. Put a bit of rope wire around that I've made. Handmade clasps, and then a nice little dangly granulated charm on the end there. But again, not for everybody, but if it's something that you like, that it's handmade. Anybody that knows me, I do a lot of sewing and knitting and crochet, so it's right up my street making something like this. That's a bit it's a bit of a crossover between the two. That one's quite a heavy one. That's not quite as heavy, but again, they would hang quite nicely down your wrist. They're not on the website because I only made a few of those, but I will be making some more in the future. And then I've got another one here that's a little bit Balinese inspired, I suppose. Again, a different weave. This is a Fox Tail weave. Everything handmade again, except for the albert. I didn't want the clasp to take away from the weaving. So that one's a bit more solid. It's not as fluid as the others, and you can put it on like a bracelet, but it does look like a bangle when it's on, that one. So a bit more Fordite. I've got a stone, it's a retail, I suppose. It's only internet based, but they're very, very accommodating. I tell them what shape I want, draw it for them, and then they come back with the stones. So these are not like any shape stones that they make. They just make these ones for me. I've made a rope chain. I'm quite fascinated with rope chains, as you'll probably see. I just like the way that they do their own thing, even when you don't want them to. So that one's a nice chunky rope chain with the Fordite. Made this one the other week. This is rectangular rope chain. I wanted to just experiment a little bit with the I just like to just try things, I suppose. And then twisted it again. So it's still a rope chain, but as you can see, it looks absolutely totally different there. I've done this in a brush effect. I thought this would be possibly more manly, but you know, it's just another effect. You can have shiny, you can have oxidized, you can have oxidized with brushed, you can have just brushed. Choice is yours. You decide what you want and I'll try and make it for you. Some of the more expensive things that I make, this is a really popular one. There are other versions of this out there. I've tried to make this as affordable to people as I can, but it is quite an expensive piece to make purely because of the components. So I don't make the balls. I have to buy those in, and that's the thing that's the expense. I do this in two different sizes. I do a 6mm ball. This is a 5mm ball. And what you can see is, again, this is a rope chain. You know, it's pure and simple rope chain, but with the balls soldered through. So it does twist. It jingles. I love how it jingles. I'm going to put it on for you. So again, T-bar. Make my own T-bars. Don't buy those. And this. So this would be, I would say this is a standard. It's a bit big for me, that. I'd like mine a bit smaller. But you can see it's so tactile. It moves with you. The balls on the sticks, they're like little dumbbells, and they just move as you move. So That's under Blueberry Hill. And again, there's lots of things, matching items to that. Earrings. So I don't know if you can see those. They're under Blueberry Hill. These are like 2-part earrings. I know we're not talking about earrings today, but these are 2-part earrings. You can wear them as the stud and take that bit off, or you can wear them with the dangly bit as well. And again, quite simple. If you're wearing that, it's the same but not really the same. So I like to make things that are kind of matching but complementary, shall we say. Complementary, not matching. So that's that one. I'll show you this one from last week. This again is a rope chain, believe it or not. And I made this massive square clasp. I would, if I start making these, I will make the clasp half the width. I just wanted to see if I could make a cube, which I have. And I liked the fact that it was a cube. So for me, that cube's not too big. But for somebody else, they might say, well, I like it, but that cube's just a bit too big for me. So if I just pop that on for you. As you can see, I keep saying I made them easy for you to put on yourself. So to me, that cube's not offensive size-wise, but to somebody else, they might want it square but only half the width, which then makes it sort of more proportionate to the chain. But I just love rope chain. I just think when we see a rope chain, we just see it in one guise, and I just like to just try and see if I can do something different with it. So you won't believe that's a rope chain as well, but it is. It's made exactly the same as a rope chain, but just with square pieces, square jump rings. So again, everything made by me from scratch. I don't buy anything in if I can help it. So that's that one. And then the last thing, I've made this one about a month ago. I've not costed this one up yet. I'm just trying to work out, because it is very, very heavy, this one. But I saw the idea with fancy, it's all about the fancy T-bar. So again, my place where I have my stones cut kindly worked to my specifications, because I needed something that would go through the hoop without being too, it's not going to scratch it. That's what I was thinking, it's going to scratch it. So this is essentially what you'd see marketed as a Byzantine. A bit of a complicated weave, but I like complicated. And I've made all the rope wire myself. There is a little video on my Facebook of how I've made it. So I've made all the rope chains myself. Everything's, there's nothing bought there. It's all made just from wire and sheet. So yeah, quite happy with that. But I'll just show it you on my wrist, just so you can get a feel for how super chunky that is. If you liked it, you wanted something a bit of a smaller version, I could do that, but then I would have to try and get smaller T-bars. But I can make silver T-bars and things like that as a replacement. So you can see there, it's you've got to like your chunky jewellery to enjoy wearing that one. Yeah, it is a chunky one, that. So hopefully it's give you a little insight into how some of the things are made. I'll say it again, if there's something you see that you like but you don't like an element of it, it can be taken off, it can be remade in a different way. If there's something that you'll see as a picture on the internet but it's not actually a product, you can send me that and I'll tell you if it's something that could be made. If you saw a few pictures and said, oh, I like the clasp off that, I like the chain of that one, and I like the charm of that one, let's see if we can mix those up and make one for you. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this situation won't last too long, and we will be all back out there on the street markets in his little gazebos, enjoying the sunshine and the face-to-face contact again. If you ever do see me at a street market, it's a bright pink gazebo. I do like a bit of pink, might have gathered. Come and talk to me. Don't be afraid. I know a lot of people, oh, I don't want to browse because they might think I want to buy something and I don't want to buy anything today. Doesn't matter. Come and talk to me. Take a card. You never know when you might need a little something a bit different making, give me a buzz, email me, text me, however you like to get in touch, and we can always have a look and see if there's something that we can make that's individual to you. As much as I like making things, you know, same so that people can, you know, have something that's ready made, I do prefer to make things that's a bit more bespoke, and I just think it means more if you've had the thought of what the elements need to go into that piece, because that means something to somebody else or to yourself. So yeah, by all means come and talk to me. If you like what I've done today, let me know. If you don't like something I've done today, let me know, but be gentle with me because it's the first one I've done. If there's something else you would like to see, let me know. The next one I will do, I'll put this one on first, and then I will see how it goes, and if you like the idea, then we'll move on to some necklaces and things like that. So thanks for watching.